Do you remember the first time you went to the movie theater? Or better yet, can you recall your favorite movie theater experience? Maybe the moment hasn't even happened yet. You see, being a film and television student, one of my dreams is to make a feature film and to have it play at the movie theaters. But the times are changing. People used to adore going out to the movies, but more and more people are watching content at their homes, bypassing traditional movie theaters. Once, the rival was television. But the threat to movies appear more existential now because the very digital revolution that has changed how movies are made has also changed how many of us watch them. Last year at the Cannes Film Festival, Netflix had a couple of movies that they screened which also got booed. Now, I don't believe was it the movies themselves or just the fact that Netflix logo appeared, which is the logo that many of us see and think that you're about to waste hours of your lives binge watching a show. But to them, it was a logo that meant a rebellion against the traditional order that is the cinema. They see it as something which is ruining the movie going ritual, and they kind of scared at the fact that streaming keeps rising and they feel it's going to be a threat against movies. Thus rises the question, is Netflix or streaming channels ruining the cinema? No, I believe that they are not going to ruin the movie theaters. First off, I understand that it is going to change the things and it already has to a certain extent, but that does not mean that the theaters are going to go away. The fact that I see it is the same as it happened with the music industry, where you still have people who buy albums, but streaming has made it easier for music lovers to listen to all kinds of music. Yeah, the things change, but to come to think of it, it's the methods and the course that stays the same. Meaning that all of those people who believe that the theaters are the sanctuary that cannot be replaced need not to worry about it. Not only this, right now studios take half of the box office takings and cinemas the other half. But if the people are watching those on the websites for the same price, they won't have to split the money with anyone. Because people are watching their movies on their websites, that's 100% profit. I believe if a movie is worth watching, people will go and see the movie. Talking about some of the blockbusters in 2017, the movies reached the highs of $1.3 billion. For example, Star Wars The Last Jedi grossed nearly $1.33 billion, which is like the third highest grossing movies of all times. But the idea that cinemas would be died because of video streaming platforms such as Netflix or Amazon Prime Video is something not to worry about. It's more of a fun energy when you go for the movies. You get the snacks and the drinks while you rest on recliners with a wide screen in front of you. That also is one of its downfall that contain high ticket prices, expensive food and drinks. People still need an affordable and entertaining option on a Friday night, regardless of where they live, and that home entertainment is certainly not as big of a disrupting force to cinema attendance as it's made out to be. In fact, there's a clear sign that cinemas are adapting to ways of offering better movie experiences, with chains investing in areas like bigger screens, luxury, bars, reserved seating, and new technology to ensure consumers come back for more. The value of the overall on-demand film market represented approximately 16% of the total UK filmed entertainment market in 2016, an increase of 3 percentage points on the previous year. For the first time, digital video overtook those of physical video. The percentage of overall revenues generated by advertising increased steadily between 2012 and 2015, growing from just over half of 1% at the start of the period to nearly 4.5% in 2015 before dropping slightly to 4.3%. The report predicts movie attendance will grow from 172 million admissions last year to 179 million in 2021. And the number of screens across the UK will rise from 4,143 to 4,542. Apart from Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, other potential rivals are beginning to stir as well. Disney, the franchise holder, currently quoting Smog like on Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and more, will launch their own streaming service in 2019. Meanwhile, nearly 6 in 10, that is 59%, over 65 years old, prefer a TV series to be released in a traditional manner, that is, week by week, compared to 40% and 36% of young people aged 12 to 15 and 16 to 24 respectively. However, BBC iPlayer is the most popular on-demand service, with 63% of adults saying that they use it. ITV Hub at 40%, and then YouTube at 38% and Netflix at 31%. The public service broadcasters on-demand service such as All4 and ITV Hub are popular with all age groups. 75% of young adults aged 16 to 24s and 59 of over 65s use these services. In contrast, when I interviewed Paul Brett, partner in Flying Tiger Media Advisors, said the value of the entertainment through Netflix is nothing compared to going out for movies. But the sheer amount that they have to watch is colossal.
So the value of the entertainment experience at Netflix, it doesn't have the same enjoyment factor of going out. It's not a venture out. But the sheer size of the amount there is to watch and the publicity around the new releases on Netflix, Amazon, and soon Apple is colossal. They will become more polarized, so there will be luxurious, there'll be new innovations, laser, 3D, holograms, and so on, for big event movies from Marvel, Pixar, Lucasfilm, and there will be more clubs where people gather to watch older films or art house films or foreign language films in a more communal existence, and where people can choose the films together and use apps to download those cinemas. Those cinemas will provide very high quality food, great degrees of comfort, but the mass multiplex experience will be reserved for the large, big budget special effects films. And this polarity in the two markets will expand.
In my research, I found out a lot of the news stories on Screening Room have focused on the industry. Theatre owners have given it the thumbs down because it will cut into their business, as have those lovers of big screen spectacle, Christopher Nolan and James Cameron. Those who support it include Steven Spielberg and, surprisingly, Martin Scorsese. However, millennials are cutting ties with cable in favor of streaming services. In fact, 67% of millennials pay for between 1 and 3 streaming services. This is in spite of the fact that they feel they're paying too much. Of course, streaming doesn't just impact how millennials are viewing TV shows. Paid streaming channels also feature plenty of long-form cinematic content. Some of this is original programming, some is feature film content released to streaming services by studios. The convenience and low cost of this is appealing to millennials. Don't count cinema out though, not by a long shot. Movie theaters bring something that streaming cannot, an immersive experience. That's something the millennials crave. According to National Cinemedia, members of this generation are 50% more likely to claim movies as a passion. They're also most likely to buy tickets ahead of time, and nearly 90% aim to arrive at the theater early. Netflix is still real solid because not only do they have the quality there, but it's also an option. I do love the fact that Netflix is facilitating all the movies we might not have seen, like War Machine starring Brad Pitt. Along with that, they also have got Netflix original movies, and they are also producing stellar original TV shows like House of Cards, Crown, etc. Regardless, I don't think Netflix is ruining or can ruin cinema. For an instance, if I had the choice to see the next Marvel movie, Infinity War, to see in the theatre, usually an IMAX, versus watching it at home on TV or laptop, I'd rather choose movie theaters because I think that the movie deserves to be shown on a big spectacular screen. Even in future, bad comes to worst, when the movies are not shown in theaters, I think people will have communities to watch the movies of their interest, like in drive-in style or makeshift things. Now also there are places people can go with friends to see screening of older cult classics or enjoy themed experience such as an evening of films from a particular director or genre. Independent filmmakers often seek out local theaters. Independent theaters are also popular for screening niche films such as anime or exploitation flicks. I believe that movies are some things which live on forever through any medium, be it DVD or television or even streaming channels now.